We have to eliminate cultural indoctrination. And the reason why is this. We're alive in a free country. Like, this is a pretty kick-ass place to be. Okay, super excited today. I am presenting in front of a bunch of HomeSmart agents on how to do a listing presentation. I got some stuff in my back pocket that I'm gonna throw out that I can't wait to share. So follow along and let's see if we can change some lives today. Sometimes you just gotta spark it a little bit. We're salespeople. You gotta show up and be ready, all right? That's one thing I find that's so fascinating about salespeople is how they look. Because if you could see what I see right now, there's a bunch of like resting bitch face going on, and we got bro face going on. It's like, hey man, you're gonna jump me in the bathroom? So listen, like presentation of self is so important, especially in today's world, right? How fast is everything moving? It's moving fast. Lightning. And you know, the old school prejudging people and so on and so forth, like, it's seconds when someone looks at you or hears your voice on the phone, and it really makes a big difference because we're leaning on a lot of technology. Wouldn't you agree? Yes. A lot. And let me get a show of hands as far as people 1 year or younger in real estate. 1 year or younger, okay? How about 5 years and younger? Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40? Okay, this is good, okay. Here's the thing, this reminds me of my daughter and I were talking the other day, and she was asking me something about when I was a little kid and so on and so forth. And it reminded me of this story, and this is super important. So it's Thanksgiving, and by the way, Thanksgiving is only 6 months away, okay? This year's flying by, okay? Just a little reminder, okay? And this daughter at Thanksgiving, little girl, was like, Mom, why do you cut the ends off of the ham? And the mother said, you know what? I don't know. Why don't you go ask your grandmother? Grandma, why do you cut the ends off the ham? She's like, you know what? That's a great question. I really don't know. Go ask your great-grandmother. Great-grandma, why do you cut the ends off of the ham? Well, honey, back in 1927, your grandpa and I were barely making ends meet. And we had this small stove that the ham wouldn't fit in there, so we had to cut the ends off. See what's going on? So with everybody here in this room, think about who taught you real estate. You said you raised your hand at 40 years? So who taught you? And then for some of these newer people, who's taught you real estate? Think about it. Now, you could have someone that's like an okay agent teaching other agents, and then that agent, fast forward 10, 15, 20 years, they're walking around with a whole bag of bad habits. So, the one thing that I've learned in the 10 years I've been doing this, I have to recreate and relook at things on a daily basis. I have to follow and adjust what's going on in the market. Because if I don't, if we were to do like what my wife used to do when she first got into real estate, we wouldn't get any listings. And it's such, you know, listings are, what do they say? List to exist, right? We all love listings. Like, I can work 100 listings, but I can only work with 2 buyers. Think about that. You get strung out. You're like, oh my God, I got 3 buyers. How the hell am I going to do this? I'm going to drive 2 cars, you know? But with listings, I mean, let's face it. Yeah, there's some work up front, but at the end of the day, you can sit back and take all the calls in the world on your listings, and it makes it really simple. So I'm going to go deep And I'm going to be sporadic, as you can tell by my energy. Who knows what's going to happen, okay? But I want each and every one of you, okay, to walk away with something where you're like, you know what? I could do that. And you apply it today or tomorrow or your next listening appointment. Is that cool? Go ahead, scan that, okay? I'm going to give you the whole deck up front. Here's the thing, right now, and I'm going to just kind of get on a soapbox for a hot second. We have to eliminate cultural indoctrination. And the reason why is this. Right now, there are so many things going on in our world that everyone is all worried about what's going on in the world, but we can't even handle our own world. Stop getting into those conversations. These conversations, and again, the minutia, okay, of things that don't affect us. Do you realize the conversations that are going on right now? Oh, you know, the Strait of Hormuz, you know, God, gas prices are really bad. And those are the people that have $10 in their checking account that are bitching about the Strait of Hormuz. No one knew what the Strait of Hormuz was until what? I didn't even know it existed, to be quite truthful. I'm not, you know, a world scholar on that. But you guys got to think about it. Like, we are under attack. Have we had fun since COVID, the lawsuit, the changes, and all the stuff? And we sit around and talk about the negative stuff. Guys, we're alive in a free country. Like, this is a pretty kick-ass place to be. But we get caught up in all the BS. You know, and over the years, and I've raised two awesome daughters, both military, and by the way, we're a 4th-generation military family. Very proud of that. And I raised my daughters like boys. I had to, because I didn't want them to kind of fall into the, and they were both raised in Scottsdale, so you know the deal. Like, okay, BMWs on your 16th birthday, that's not how it works in reality, okay? And so, you know, I've noticed like that younger generation, well, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. We've been saying that for a long time. Oh, if it doesn't feel right, just, it's okay. Hey, you know what? It's okay. Just let it be. Okay, well, here's the thing. It may not feel right, but it could be the right thing to do. Have you ever brushed your teeth with the opposite hand? I'm going to tell you, that doesn't feel right. Like, gums are bleeding and stuff, and you're like, oh. So tonight, I challenge everyone, brush your teeth with the opposite hand. It's not going to feel right, but you're still going to get the job done. So that's what I want you guys today to kind of just keep that mind open, because I'm going to share some stuff that probably won't make sense, but guess what? It works. It works. Okay. This, you guys got to understand, the listing appointment starts on the phone call. That first initial meet and greet, or however you want to call it, that first initial phone call, right? Whether it's a referral or a lead source, doesn't matter. Okay? You want to make sure that the conversations and things that you're gathering prior to that listing appointment, you are doing a deep dive. Okay? But in a way that makes people feel warm and fuzzy. Because if you have that first initial phone call and you're like, all right, dude, so what do you got and how many bedrooms and what are you doing and blah, blah, it's like an interrogation, right? People don't want that, right? Because you push on people nowadays, they fall apart. Like, there's a lot of weak people out there right now, just so you know. And I'm sure we've all dealt with some weak salespeople that send in an offer and then all of a sudden they get scared and run, right? Anyone had that happen? What the heck is that all about? But anyway, we're not talking about that right now, okay? So when you're putting together the kind of like what you're going to do in that listing presentation, you want to make sure you know, where are they coming from? What is their motivation behind wanting to list? Because to me, that's the most important thing. What is their intention? What is it that they're trying to do? Why they have to sell, okay? And I have done a very deep dive into what's called the seller profiles, okay? We noticed at the beginning when I first got involved, and by the way, give it up to my wife. 35 years, okay? Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the conversations you guys would hear of us, you'd be like, what the hell's going on? But my wife, I got into real estate because of her. She got her license in 2002, which was a kind of a weird time, right? Remember, it was flat. Didn't the Keating thing just happen or went down or something, in the late 90s? Remember all that? Who knows that? Yeah, it was a big hot mess. So she got her license in 2002, and it was a different temperament back then, okay? And what I found was the different people she would tell me about, I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. So this guy's like from out of state, and it's a second home, and like they're just kind of like take it or leave it type attitude. She's like, yeah. I go, huh, interesting. And then she would tell me about another situation where a person is, they're going to be a move-up buyer, and they are looking for a bigger home, but they keep asking about, well, how much do you think the utilities would cost? Right? So there's all these different profiles, and so what we've come up with, there are 10 of them. Is there 10 there? 9? Yes, 10. 10 different types of profiles of people. Anywhere from the second agent. Has anyone ever been a second agent? That's literally like there's a nuclear bomb and there's red wires and blue wires, and you're like, which one do I cut to make sure? And you have to treat that one in a completely different way, right? So the first agent failed, couldn't sell the house. So now they are going to look for a new agent. And it's almost like, high school. Boyfriend, girlfriend type stuff where they just talk trash, right? And you got to be careful on that because you got to let them kind of get it out, but then you have to have the game plan to be able to maneuver, okay? Second home vacation, like those people are crazy. They buy those on kind of like, there's kind of spontaneous. It's like, woo, I like this. Well, Airbnb it. And then all of a sudden they live there for a year or two. A bunch of problems happen, or it's not renting out, or whatever the case may be, and now they want to get rid of it. But they overpaid. Now what? Now they're antsy pantses, right? They want the cash because they got something else they want to deploy it into. So again, these are the different types of profiles. And so my thing is I like to, and this is going to be weird, okay? But I like to get into the mind of the seller. Because now I know what I'm going to talk about. Because if it's a second agent type profile, but it's a luxury seller, am I going to treat the two the same? No. And sometimes what I see in real estate right now is that we just kind of have, there's buyer and seller, and that's it. And we use the same game plan day in, day out on all buyers and all sellers. It doesn't work that way because there's this messy middle. There's this emotional battlefield that people are fighting with. Who's dealt with a relocation seller that they're moving out of state? Whew, those people are wound up tight. They're tripping balls on the fact that, oh my God, the kids are going to start school. We got to get a new place. And like, they're just losing their mind. And it's like, it's the first weekend that we had the home on the market. Like, hold on. Remember, we talked about 75 days, listing time and so on and so forth. So again, being able to navigate those emotions are super important. Okay? And that's where the prep work comes into play. So if I know what the motivation is behind the scenes, now I can curtail my listing appointment, okay? The prep oh my God, you guys, this has been years, the last 8 years, changing, boom, oh, we got something. And we've been running the same play, okay? Are we changing a couple little things? Absolutely. But this has been super important. So this is our setup in going into a listing appointment, okay? Just so you know, all this is the props that we use, but the actual guts of the listing is a map, the list of homes, and the CMA. That's it. That is it. Because if you do any more than that, it's that humans can't handle it. They can't. Now here's the kicker. This is how psycho I get. When we go into a listing and we end up getting it, I'm like, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm sure that you met with other agents and, you know, we're super excited to take on your listing. Hey, would you happen to have the stuff that they left behind? Has anyone ever done that? Oh, guys, this is gold. Listen, I have a 12:30 appointment, so after this, if you guys want to come up here and take a look, and I am not, listen, I'm not dogging any of these people. This is what they were taught. This is what they were taught from someone 10, 15, 20 years ago, and now they're doing it. And so what I found is, oh my God, there's all sorts of, like, listen, postcards, another thing, another, you know, flyer thing, like a book. They just want to know how much and how fast it's going to sell, okay? The foo-foo stuff of, well, you know, I'm the 1% of the 2% of the universe, and I have a great, you know, social media presence, and, you know, I'm going to sell. Stop. No one wants to hear that. They just want to know how much and how fast. Would you all agree? Yeah? Okay. So over the years, we've collected some of these, and I started to see this trend. Just a lot of tchotchke stuff in here that has nothing to do with anything, like 7 common home selling mistakes. Great. I hope you don't do that as my realtor. You know what I mean? Like, what? Take in mind, guys, this is laminated, like kindergarten type stuff where you're going to put, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. 4 key principles to follow when selling a home. Well, isn't that why I have you? You see where I'm going with this, okay? Be careful on the things that you leave behind, okay? Because then when they deal with someone like us, we're keeping it really simple. I used to be in the car business. Who enjoys buying cars? You know that? Not nowadays. I'm talking old school stuff. Not this, oh, you just get it on the app and it shows up at your house. I'll take it or leave it. I'm talking about old school where you hand-to-hand negotiate. Keeping it simple, okay? If it's not simple, they can't understand it. But Dave, they need all this extra stuff. No, they don't. Because we won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We even went up against these yahoos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do we all agree they're all yahoos? Yes. See? I'm not talking junk about the other people, but you see where I'm going with this, okay? Do not inundate your people with too much information. They can't handle it. So let's get into this. Super, super important here as far as communication, okay? So not only do you have a banging call with these people, you know exactly what's going on, what they've done to the home. By the way, I want you to write this down. I didn't talk about this. When you're talking to people on the phone, typically you ask them what? How many bedrooms? What have you done to your home? Right? Please make sure, if they're like, oh no, we upgraded, or we did this, or we did that, say, that's awesome. would you mind doing me a huge favor? I just need like a sample photo of a couple of these things that you've done around your house. I'm not asking for a photo shoot. I'm just asking for like, take a picture of the cabinets that you did, or the granite, or the grass in the backyard, or the new waterfall feature, okay? Send that over to me. Because when I come to see you, I'm gonna have a number ready to go. Now, shame on you if you're one of those agents that shows up and doesn't give a number. Because people don't play that. That's that old school. Remember, you'd show up, hey man, nice house and everything. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to my office and work up some numbers. Guys, the consumer can work up the numbers themselves. They know. They need us to help guide them, okay? So please make sure you get a few photos prior to going. And the reason why I share that is because back in the day, these people told me they remodeled their kitchen. So I put the comps together. It was one that was at the earlier stages where Kim's like, all right, you run this one. I'm like, oh, boss lady's gonna give me a chance. You know, doing the spreadsheets, all the stuff, right? And we get there, and I'm like, are we at the right place? Because what I didn't find out was their level of remodel was door pulls and a new microwave that didn't match the dishwasher or stove. And I think they put a new faucet, something. Yeah, train wreck. Like, what do we do? we navigated around it. Do we get that one?
We did, and we sold it.
But see, you have to be able to think on the fly, okay? How many of you work completely solo or with a partner, or you go? Do a lot of you, well, so you always go on a listing appointment by yourself for the most part? Okay. Okay. It's kind of fun when you go with someone else. Like you could literally bring a friend with that has no clue about real estate and just tell them to like, oh yeah, that's definitely a good idea. And you would probably see your closing ratio go up. It's kind of fascinating. Making sure you're communicating with these people the day of the actual day you make the appointment, okay? Shoot a text message. The day before the appointment, the day of the appointment, and then of course afterwards, you're gonna touch base with these folks as well. I'm really big on communication, and just so you know, I'm super old school, but now I'm using technology in a way to where if I send you an email, guess what I'm doing? I'm sending you a text to let you know that you have an email. Crazy. And I know we all have gotten very caught up in texting. Put your voice to a voice memo and then text it. Well, Dave, that's when you call the number and the voicemail picks up. Yeah, but they don't listen to it. Guys, do you see what we're under attack? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have to and guess what? 6 months from now, we might be doing something else. Who knows? Maybe we'll just think about it and oh, man, Dave just thought about me. Shot me a thought text or something. I don't know. But you see where I'm going. It's important that you lead your clients. Make sense? You guys think I'm crazy yet? Is it too much energy? This is me all the time. Listen, I'm not going to be a fake leader, okay? I have a team of 20 people. I have to show up every single day for them. I have to show up for my family. It's all of the above. I'm going all in at the age of 58. I'm not letting up. Because guess what? There's, again, a lot of weak people out there that are just kind of getting along. Guys, you guys have the ability to make a lot of money. You just got to be open-minded in how you do it. And just look at the different ways of doing this business. Because, again, we've all been taught by somebody else. Okay? All right, presentation. So this is one of the things that we like to do. We'll have a list. Does everyone do the list? Yeah. Okay. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I figured out a way to basically set up the client with the mindset of what their home is, okay? Instead of like going in, going, oh yeah, this one, has a nice backyard, nice pool, blah, 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 that kind of stuff that we've been taught. Who was taught that? You kind of make comments on each one. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, okay, I'm not scared of anyone in this room. We'll do push-ups until we get excited. Does that make sense? See, I have a thing right now, I'm not allowed to cuss in our meetings or else I have to do push-ups, but I'm not cussing today, okay? Have Rich LaRue in the back there, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so here's the deal. You guys are gonna love this technique, okay? There's 3 different types of homes. Updated, HGTV, or builder grade. We know that the sellers know what the other houses in the neighborhood are that sold or on the market. Would we all agree? Yeah. So they already know. They're like, oh yeah, Bob and Mary down the street, they were like in some type of financial problems. That's why it was so cheap. Oh, really? Well, maybe it was because it was builder grade. Okay? And they weren't able to get like a really strong offer because they had deferred maintenance, right? Or kind of like my story of the remodeled kitchen, that would be considered updated, right? Instead of, the carpet that used to be in the family room, they put, vinyl down or something. They did some little updates. And then, of course, HGTV. We all know what that is. The latest, the greatest. They strip it down. They put all brand new stuff. They got it staged beautifully, right? We all seen those? Okay. So now when I'm going over everything, I'm talking about each home. What do you think's happening by the time I get to the bottom of this? They're thinking about their house. Do you see how this works? Because then I'm going to be like, so where do you think your house falls? And again, if they say, well, HGTV, I'm like, well, hold on a second now. Remember what we talked about. That's where everything is new. Well, it still works for us. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that that's where you get in an argument, but I'm just saying that's the reality, right? So you want them with the preconceived notion of kind of falling into where they think they're at. This saves so much time in prepping for a listing. Like seriously, if it's a normal subdivision type home, not like a horse property, I can get in and out and get everything done in like 30 minutes or less. Seriously. You like that, huh? You're like, that guy's full of it. There's no way. Seriously, ask my wife. Because my wife was brought up with doing it the old school way. And I'm like, we both get to the same number. I just get there quicker. So we have the list. So now here's the thing. When you're sitting with the client, they have a map, they have the list, and then the CMA. Those are the only 3 pieces of paper that I have floating around. Okay? So it's not like some of these other listing kits where there's 1,000 different things and, papers flying all over the place. I'm keeping it very simple, okay? So this next one, here's the thing. My rule of thumb, the listings have to fit on 1 page. If you got 2 pages of listings, shame on you. Don't. That's too much. You know what I mean? I actually like running dirty a little bit, like 8. 8's a good number. Because there's only so much to talk about, you know what I mean? One time we showed up, I printed everything out and we're there and we're driving to the appointment and she opened up the listing book to see the papers to kind of know what's going on. She goes, what are you doing? What are you talking about? We're like flying down the road. I only pulled 2, but we got the listing. It's how you make people feel, right? All right, this is super important. Again, a lot of numbers, right? And when you're shoving numbers in front of somebody, it's a lot for them to take in. Think about it when you've been given a contract or something and they put something in front of you, it's almost, oh, what am I looking at here? And you try to get your bearings, right? I like to focus on 2 things here. 1, days on market, okay? Super, super important, right? Because you got to set the tone of, hey, this ain't going to fly off the shelf first weekend, okay? Second is, I like coming down into the sold section and showing original list price and then what it's sold for. Now, at this price point, we're looking at almost, what, 90,000 difference? You know, when you're in that like million to 2 million range, what, 200, 300, right? 400? Hey, I want my people to know about that. Like, hey, just so you know, like this is the swing I'm seeing. And so what I do is I circle it and I draw an arrow. Because any time that I'm there talking with my client, I'm also writing. You gotta figure out how to talk and write. Seriously. Because if you're just putting papers there and you're like, okay, so, you know, the comps, it's boring. You gotta be like, okay, so, you know, the paper's moving around and you're circling stuff and you're drawing arrows. Like that's where you're getting them on the edge of their seat. Because when you have Bob that's kind of like sitting back like this, and then all of a sudden you start working the numbers and you're circling stuff, he'll draw into you, okay? Very, very important. Yeah, algorithms don't sell houses. The truth does. Is it safe to say that when we come up with a price, it's an opinion? There's going to be a gist to this, so I want you guys to follow, okay? Would you say the seller has an opinion on what their home is? Oh, do you hear the difference? Oh, yeah. Would you say the appraiser has an opinion? Yes. And would you also say that the buyer has an opinion? Yes. A lot of opinions, right? So we have to cut through the chase on that. And what I have found is I love using opinion when I'm talking about price. Because what's the one thing that we always get hung up on? When they start talking about what? Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, right? Now all of a sudden you're dealing with a third-party website opinion. Yeah. Crazy! Like, who gets frustrated with all that?
Because they've never seen the house. I know, right?
Okay, I'm about to change the way you look at things. This is a game changer. I'm going to tell you right now, you are literally taking the bullets out of the gun. They can't fire anything back at you when you pull this out. Because what we do is, this is a fillable form, and we'll go in and put the actual number of the home. So guess what, Mr. Seller? You know, everybody has an opinion, and so do these 4 websites right here. And then what I say is, hey, if we were to sell your home today and put a for sale sign in the front yard, I would sell it for, and I write big. Sound familiar, Barb? You will buy and drive today. And I write the number at the bottom.
Is that the listing price or the sale price?
Listing price. Listing. My listing. My opinion. Now listen, I have an opinion too. My opinion on I say opinion a lot, multiple times, right, Maria? And what happens is that when you keep repeating opinion, how does that make the client feel? Yeah, you're not backing yourself into a corner. You're able to play the field a little bit. So this is these are typed out.
Yep.
So when I'm going over it, what I do is I spin the paper around and I'll write the price. And I'll spin it back around and go, and I stare. And I wait for that really uncomfortable pause that lasts about, what, 3.2 seconds? And then you start saying stupid stuff. Stop it. Just sit there and be quiet. Guys, that's the art of sales. Because the first thing that comes out of their mouth, you're going to know where they stand. So this next step, after I serve the number, now I'm going to get right into the net sheet. We have been finding the net sheet works like a charm, okay? Like this has been game changer. And what it does is it gives them the ability to see what they're going to put in their pocket. Because it's all fun and games to talk about price and commission and all the stuff, the fees, but they want to know how long is it going to take to put that in my pocket, okay? I'll have 2 or 3 with me. Doesn't mean I'm going to use all 3. Depending upon, I show up and it's like, uh-oh, someone lied to me. This is builder grade dog doo-doo. I'll pull out the lower one, okay? I always try to get an idea with payoff too when I'm making that first initial call. Hey, so what do you guys owe on it? Oh, wow, man, I bet you have a low payment, right? I'm going to throw that out there. Oh, wow, you got it when the interest rates were really low. Wow, cool. That's good stuff to know because I'm going to circle back around on something in a minute on that. Who uses net sheets? Here's something else. Highlight only the important stuff. Sales price and estimated cash to seller. Those are the only 2. Because again, remember, when you put a piece of paper in front of somebody, what do? They're like, what am I looking at? Here's the thing. We are in the lead game, okay? So we have a lot of different lead sources. And so this next example this is Ideal Agent. This is a service that we don't use anymore, but their claim to fame was you go through Ideal Agent, it's 2% for both sides, and then the optional buyer's agent commission, Panozzo team, a total of 4.5. So what happens is that we tell these people on the net sheet, oh, our commission's already baked in. Oh, okay, great. Here's the close. This is something that happened by default. You guys can make up the same thing if you want. This is literally, I love neon green. Like, I put this on neon green paper, okay? And we call it the green sheet. Because back in the car business days, we had this thing called the green sheet that was an intake form that you got your client's name, number, social, and what model, and what their trade was. And so, to this very day, I still use the same methodology, okay? This is a recap sheet. But what happens when you pull out a piece of paper that has blanks on it in front of a client? What do you think's going through their mind? Oh, we're not signing anything today, is the first thing they say. And I'm like, you're not signing anything. I'm going to do all the writing. Because what I want to do is I want to put everything we just spoke about on paper. Because later on down this road, when we are working together, I want to make sure that there's absolutely no misunderstandings and I meet all your expectations. Bam! They're like, well, the other 2 didn't do that. Yeah, the other 2 didn't. These other 5 didn't, okay? So I'm gonna make it all super simple. So boom, seller disclosure. You could do the little spiel on that. Hey, you're gonna need to get this filled out, okay? Clue report, compensation, additional closing cost, gate code. Are they keeping the fridge, washer, dryer? Do they have solar? What company? Okay? Now, it's counterintuitive, and I always have to remind my team, okay, this is my wacky brain. You're probably thinking, well, Dave, why didn't you put that over here and that over there? No, I'm playing a psychological warfare game with my clients. So I start over here. I come down because these are all layup questions. Easies. You gotta like kind of massage the process here, okay, before you go in for the kill shot. Because then what I do is I come right up here. So, when do you want to list it? Then you're going to hear the first objection. Well, we're meeting with 4 other people. We don't make decisions right away. You're just going to hear that. I go, I understand that, and I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire. I just want to know, are you thinking June 1st, July 1st? You know what I mean? You're just trying to get a ballpark, right? Because if someone is pushing back on that question, you kind of know where you're at, right? What do you think this next question does? So, what do you want to list it for? Well, your number, it's low. Wait a minute, we just had a conversation 5 minutes ago about how we were all agreeing on price. And now all of a sudden, price is an issue? You see what happens? So guess what you do? You go back in and reclose the price. You get the comps back out. You do a little shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff, looking over all the stuff. And then what do you do when the client wants a higher price than what you had? What do you do? If you're within margin. Now, if you're 200 grand off, you ain't going to get it. If you're 20, 30, 50 grand off on a higher end, I mean, that's within margin. That kind of goes with your range. You know what I mean? But what do? You ready? Now, guys, watch this. Watch this, okay? Oh, man, you want to go, okay, we said 500, but you want 525. You know what? I have an idea. As long as you guys are open-minded. What if we did a coming soon? And we came out on the market at your price. Now, take in mind, during the coming soon, like you guys would be okay with showing it, right? Or accepting if someone sent over an offer. That wouldn't throw you guys off, would it? Okay, perfect. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come out at 5.25. Now, here's the most important thing. I don't like doing more than 2 weeks on coming soon because it takes away the pizzazz of it, okay? So then I'm like, okay, so listen. In the next 2 weeks, here's the thing. If we get phone calls and people want to see it, you're okay with showing it, right? Awesome. But if for some reason we don't get any phone calls and no one wants to see it, the market is giving us their opinion of what your home is worth. And I bring the word opinion back in because I went very deep on talking about opinion. So now I'm letting them know, yeah, the comps are the sold comps, right, are the numbers. However, the market now has an opinion. And the market right now, they're edgy because they're walking around with these $5,000 to $7,000 a month payments on a, what, 400, 500? Well, do some math for me, Anthony. Yeah, that's a lot of chili, right? For a house that's updated. You see the difference? So you have to spin the coming soon with like a, oh man, I got an idea. As long as you're open-minded. See how I'm doing this? Then also they're like, what? What are you, like tell me. But if you're like, oh, coming soon, and what we can do is we'll go on the market. No. And for your coming soon photos, be edgy. Use a cell phone. And you tell them that. Hey, we're gonna do some edgy, cell phone photos. And so we're just gonna take a picture of the front, the backyard, maybe the kitchen. Because what we want is we want to tease people. Coming soon is a tease. What's going on? Is it remodeled? I don't know, you have to come down and check it out. Right? And again, so that 2 weeks is super imperative. Because what's gonna happen is, it's going to be close to game day when you go live on the market. So guess what? Talking about a price reduction is easy peasy at that point. Okay? Make sense? Does that give you some tools to just kind of retool a little bit of how you're serving that up? That's a wrap. Today was awesome. I love training agents. It is so fun, and I love opening everyone's mind. Today we went through a listing presentation, went into that stuff that just people get hung up on, and we changed some lives today, which is awesome. And if you want the playbook on what we discussed today, just comment below, playbook, and I'll get a copy to you. As always, let's make it a great day.